we're gonna try something new today. And that is leaving post without this little doohickey falling down every single time I hit that giant fucking pothole that is right before the exit. We're gonna try it. I don't have much confidence that I can get out of here without doing that. But we're gonna try it. So I just got back. I am currently running on at most an hour and a half of sleep, probably closer to just 1 hour of sleep for the day. So this may be just like a terrible video and I just ramble about nonsense, but hopefully it is not. Flew back over to Omaha Tuesday nights for the funeral on Wednesday. Immediately then, after the funeral, got back on the plane and headed back. Was supposed to be landed at RDU at 11:30, so I was gonna be home at like 1. Flight then did not leave until 1. No, flight didn't leave till 1:15-ish. Landed at about 2:30. Got back to my car at about 2:50, and then needed to be at work at 5:30. So obviously a pretty big issue right there. So I ended up laying in my back seat, taking a nap. So I slept from like 3:20 to 4:20, and then drove from Raleigh the hour 15 minutes right back down here to work. So I have been running on loads of caffeine and stimulants today just to keep myself going because I am struggling. So we're at about 700 milligrams of caffeine, and actually really not feeling too bad. This morning all the way to like 10 o'clock I was pretty fucking rough, but then once I got a very large coffee from Starbucks, I felt much better. So big win for my sugar-free vanilla latte from Starbucks. I took that order from my mother-in-law. It was pretty tasty. Only did 2 pumps of vanilla though. Should have done 4. But that is all beside the point. We're headed over to pick up Marley now, the doggo. But first off, before that, we're going to talk about one of the worst things that a coach can do for their athlete, and that is make the athlete dependent on them. The whole goal of a coach should be to build independence in your athlete. If you are training your athlete to be dependent on you, you are making them worse off, not just as an athlete, but as a person in general. So when we look at some of the structures, when we look at motor learning and just like progressing, learning a skill, all that, we go from, one of the models is, let's see, competence, confidence, autonomous, something like that. Something along that line, where we're progressing from having to be very, very knowledgeable and very, very focused on what we're doing to then progressing to be doing something autonomously. So going from a lot of mental bandwidth needed to complete a task to very little mental bandwidth needed to complete a task. That is the process of independence, really, right there. Is we are learning how to do something for ourselves that does not require a lot of mental power to do. If we are making our athletes dependent on us, though, we are building them in to not ever reach that autonomy, that's a word, to never reach that autonomy. If, let's, for example, like going up or going down in weight, if like they're feeling trash, like, hey, I can't hit these percents today, coach, what do I do? You're not going to be there to answer every single question every single time they have a question. And if you do not teach your athletes how to be independent, how to make the decision that you would want them to make the best decision for them on their own, they're either, one, gonna just like fuck up and completely like miss the intent of the day, or they're just gonna drop too much, do something you don't know, and then you're gonna be mad at them because, oh, why'd you do this? Well, I didn't know what to fucking do, because you built that dependency into your athletes, so they don't actually know what to do. They're reliant on you. The goal of coaching should be to, again, make a better person, make a better athlete, get them to their goal. It should not be to create this dependency on you so that they can never leave you. I have plenty of athletes who have, over the years, they quit coaching. Whether that be, oh, they just decided they don't want to weightlift anymore, they moved on, they were done weightlifting, they just didn't want to lift with me anymore. Whatever the reason, when that athlete left, they had the tools to go out on their own and do it themselves. So let's say I've had athletes before who, one got pregnant, they had to go lift on their own for 11-ish months. Others have just quit the sport entirely and just went on to other sports. No matter what, though, they were given those skills. I implanted those skills in them so that they have the knowledge to go out on themselves. Like, the goal shouldn't be, like, if you're a physical therapist, your goal should not be, I guess Cairo is probably a better example of this, is you should not try to have a client for life. It's like personal trainer, too. If you have created such a dependency on the client to you, the athlete to you, that they can't go out on their own, you are doing them a disservice. Just because coaching is a luxury service. Like, it's not cheap. I'm well aware of that. I charge people for it. I'm well aware it's not cheap. So my goal is not to have athletes be with me for their entire life, giving me a paycheck for their entire life. Like, that's not the goal. The goal is, for the time that the athlete is competing in the sport, giving them the best coaching possible to reach their goals. Eventually, they're not going to be competing anymore. Eventually, they're not going to be weightlifting anymore. Eventually, they're not going to need me as a coach anymore, and that's perfectly fine. But once they're done competing, they should be able to do whatever they want in the gym and have the ability to do that on their own. They should be able, at some point, once they're done competing, not have to spend money on that. Like, I have a lot of athletes, I have a few athletes who don't compete, and they pay me to coach them simply just because they enjoy the aspect of coaching. So they're paying even though they don't need to, because they could theoretically do it on their own, but the connection they've built, what they get out of it, is worth it. So they are not getting coaching because they feel they have to, because I've not instilled in them how to do it on their own. They're doing it because of the connection they've built. And if you are, the only reasons you have an athlete with you still is because they don't know how to spread their wings and be on their own, versus they actually really enjoy the service you are providing them and the person you are, and they want to be with you, that's just shit. Like, you need to be building confidence in your athlete. You need to be building autonomy in your athlete. You need to be building independence in your athlete. That is my entire goal. I do not do well with athletes who need a ton of hand-holding and who need me every step of the way. Like, I talk with a large majority of my athletes multiple times a week, sometimes multiple times a day, daily for some people. But most of that is not centered around weightlifting or coaching or what they need in the gym, or, hey, I have this question, I have this question. It's just talking like a fucking person. It's just being friends, because I'm friends with most of my athletes. So they have the ability. I have fostered in them. I have taught them exactly what I want them to do, why I want them to do this, what to do in this situation, so that they have all the tools they need to become the owner of their own training. If you just give someone this blanket plan, like, hey, do A, B, C, D, no changes at all, no, nothing. You have to do exactly what I say. They're going to do that for a while, but after some time, they're just going to get tired of being told, hey, you have to do this, you have to do this. No one likes to be told what to do. So instilling that independence in them then also gives them the ability to, hey, I am in this situation right now, or I'm in a different gym, I don't have access to this. Instead of saying, hey, I need all this, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I had to change gyms today, something happened, like, what do I do? I can't even lift today because I don't know what to do. Versus instilling in them, hey, here is the goal of today, here's what we're trying to get after. If you don't have access to this, here's this easy substitution, go ahead, forward with that. Building that confidence, building that independence in an athlete to be able to make their own decisions and confidently know they're still going to make progress on that is kind of a big deal. Because again, the goal of coaching should not be to just tie someone down to a monthly payment for as long as possible just to collect a check. The goal is to make better people. The goal is to make better athletes. The goal is to reach a goal. But at the end of the day, we should have our athletes, whenever they are done with us, because again, there is going to be a time when you have to hang up your weightlifting shoes. There will be a time in your life where you put down a barbell and you never pick it up again for the rest of your life, whether that's because you're done lifting or whether that's because you're in your grave. At some point, you will never pick up a barbell again. And when that time comes, hopefully you're not dead and you're doing other things with your time, because weightlifting's a hobby. Like, go get another hobby. Like, cool, go enjoy your life. If you are making better people, if you are instilling values in them of independence, autonomy, of becoming their own person and having the confidence to make their own decisions, they can now take that into every aspect of their life and have more confidence, have more autonomy, have more independence to make those good decisions. If you can instill in them, hey, you are capable, you know what to do, here are the tools, I am still here with you every step of the way, but I trust you, I believe in you to make these good decisions, go out and do that. Like, obviously, again, still here to help, like, that's my job, but also, I do not need to be the person to hold your hand. Like, I'm never going to be the person to hold your hand. Fuck that. I hate that. I do not do well with that. I do very well with setting up guidelines, setting up parameters, setting up constraints for my athletes of, hey, here is what we want to accomplish today. If you need to change it around based on whatever factors come up, here's how we do that. Boom, go ahead, make it happen. And since I've adopted more of that approach, people have been hitting a lot higher weights, and I've been PRing a lot more and making a lot more progress. Example, Ashley is going for a PR this week. Last week, we were just doing doubles on the back squat. She's hit 2 back squat PRs as a double in the past month. She back squatted 145 for a single, tried for a double, couldn't get it, but still that was a 5 kilo PR over what she had prior to that 4 weeks. She's going for a clean and jerk max this week. I fully expect her to hit 110, at least 107, hopefully 110 is the goal. 110 would be a 7 kilo PR. That's fucking wild, because she's also a nationals athlete. She qualified for nationals. She'll be competing at her first senior nationals this summer in Pittsburgh. So when we were going this very blanket approach of, hey, do X, Y, Z, no changes. If you need changes, I need to be the one to sign off on that. We're making progress, but we have made astronomical leaps and bounds since I've given over more of the reins to say, hey, I trust you. You know your body. You are there. I'm not with you. I'm 1,000 miles away. Here's what I need from you. Here's what I think you should do. And here's what to do in these certain situations. Do with that what you will. Make your decisions. And we've made a lot more progress. Your athletes are smart. They have brains. You are not a know-it-all. No matter how much you think you know everything, you do not know anywhere near close to anything. Your athletes are going to have a much better gauge on your body than you will. There's a lot of credence that needs to be given to subjectivity. So we need to give athletes the ability to take that subjective information that you don't know because you're not in their body. And a lot of coaches don't even listen to their fucking athletes. There's a lot to that. So give your athlete the independence to do what they need to do to make the decisions. You do not need to be the fucking CEO at all times. You are there as a consultant. You are not the CEO. You are not the one dictating all the rules. You are the one there to help them on this journey, to consult with them on this journey, to get them where they need to be. So that's it for today.